Bonjour les enfants and bienvenue. Welcome to our next French lesson. Last time we did some counting, les chiffres, 30, counting up to 30. We're going to do a little bit of practice with that, but our main lesson today is going to be les salutations, some basic greetings. So let me just share my screen with you. Les salutations. Today's lesson, you see I've made some little friends and you'll be meeting one or two of those later. So our approach to really effective learning and getting all that new information and language into your long-term memory is really key to being successful today. So we're going to be activating your memory in a minute. First, actually, we're going to review what you can remember of your numbers. Then we're going to activate your memory of greetings. I'm going to explain how we can get better at memorizing words and phrases. We're going to do some practice together. Then you're going to practice on your own and submit some work to Seesaw. Then I'm going to give you the opportunity to reflect on what you've been learning. Shall we get started? C'est parti! Alors, we looked at numbers last time. So just to get a bit more practice, because we've probably started to forget our numbers, we're going to, I'm going to actually, first of all, pause. I want you to pause the video when I say so, and just look at those numbers and have a go at counting up as far as you can. So, and then we'll have a look at some of the numbers in a second. So I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go at counting. Off you go. Okay, so you've paused the video, you've had a go. How did you get on? I bet you were quite good at 1 to 10, and then it got a little bit more difficult the further you got. I know some of you can count to 30 quite easily already, and that's brilliant. So it's about you getting quicker, remembering those numbers off by heart. So what we'll do, just to have a little bit of extra practice, is I'm going to get my special tool out for spotlighting, if I can find it, which I can't. Where have we gone? There it is. Ah, there she is. Right. We're going to do écouter et répéter. So I'm going to say it, you're going to listen, and you're going to repeat it. So je dis, and then tu dis. I say, and then you say. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Remember, we do our celebration for 20. I'm not going to go any further because I think we want to keep it into chunks. Remember, learning in chunks is easier. So I want to go to the numbers that you seem to find the trickiest because they're not the easiest to remember. And that's these numbers: 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So I'm going to repeat these. Écoutez et répétez. Are you ready? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Très bien. Okay, so you've had a little bit of extra practice for those ones. So now we're just going to do 1 to 20 again, but this time we're going to whisper it because it's good to do it in different voices. It's more fun, isn't it? Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Très bien, everybody. That's a little bit of practice. If you really want to do it, get some more practice in, just pause the video and use some of those other techniques. But we're going to move on now to the main part of the lesson. So, les salutations, greetings, that means greetings. So we're going to have a simple conversation. Oh, hang on a second, somebody's knocking at the door. Sorry, 1 minute, I know it's a bit embarrassing. Hang on, who could that be? Oh. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment t'appelles-tu? Oh. Je m'appelle Monsieur Hugues. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Mathis. Au revoir. Au revoir. Oh, so that was Mathis. I've made a new friend. Actually, maybe we can use some finger puppets today to help learn some things, some new things. And I think Mathis is going to come back and help us in a minute, and more about finger puppets in a second. So hopefully that helped activate your memory as well. And this is actually the conversation we had, apart from the first bit, you'll see, which says deux animaux dans le jardin, which means two animals in the garden. Deux animaux dans le jardin. And you're going to do a bit of role play later where we have two animals in the garden. And this is the conversation. This is what you're going to learn off by heart today. And first of all, just wanted to see what you knew already. And I bet you probably knew bonjour and au revoir quite well. And perhaps you weren't so confident about asking someone's name. Comment t'appelles-tu? And je m'appelle. So we're going to work on making those really clear in our minds. Oh, right. So you may want to make your own finger puppets, and it's not going to be the main part of the lesson. But what I've done on the seesaw task is I've left a link. There's a link there. For a little how to make a finger puppet, which I did with my daughter, and we made those very same puppets, and we're just showing you how to make one of them. It's really quick, it's really fun, and we're going to use finger puppets a little bit more in our lessons. So if you want to do that, then you'll need to pause the video, go off and make your puppets, and then come back and finish your French lesson. If you want to wait, that's fine. You can continue with the lesson. And for example, you can just use your thumbs, because we're going to be doing some conversation with finger puppets or thumbs, or you can grab yourself a doll or a teddy or a toy too, would be good to do some conversation. So just pause the video and get whatever you need, or go and make your puppets and then come back. Bien, alors. The next stage, I'm going to explain how we're going to learn these things. Okay, so we're going to chunk. See, the first thing we're going to chunk, we're going to do it in little bits. Okay, so it's nice and easy to digest. We're going to répéter, 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 repeat, repeat, repeat. So we're going to use our finger puppets for fun. We're going to change the volume and we'll even give the puppets different moods so they have a bit of fun when they're having their conversation. We're going to be strict. So we're not going to miss out any lines. It's really important that you learn everything today. We're going to use what we already had to say some of those words, as we said earlier. And we're going to use our knowledge of English sounds to help with the French pronunciation. So that's a slightly new thing today. We're going to work on our pronunciation. Okay, so let's start with that. La pronunciation. So when we say bonjour, it's important that we pronounce the J in that word, the J in French, the J in a soft way, because I've heard lots of you and lots of beginners often say bonjour, bonjour, not bonjour. So it's not a soft je sound. So I want to hear you practice that. Je. That's it, je. You notice my lips, I'm making them a little bit rounder. Je. And that helps me make that sound. So let's just try. Écoutez et répétez. Je. Bonjour. Bonjour. And I always think it's a very friendly sort of sound, the je sound. they do say that French is a romantic language, and that might be one of the reasons, some of the soft sounds. Okay, now the next sound, we're going to say today, comment t'appelles-tu? And the tu at the end is, again, it's a slightly different sound in French. Can you hear the difference? I'll say it with more of an English accent. Comment t'appelles-tu? And comment t'appelles-tu? And you can hear the tu is slightly different to the tu. So it's tu, the tu sound. Just say it out loud if you can. Tu. You notice I'm almost, again, pursing my lips a bit, as if I'm going to whistle. Tu, tu. You can always see I'm making a whistling. So if you can try that with your lips as if you're going to whistle, and then try and say tu, 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 and u, 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 tu. Okay, bit of practice there, and that'll help with your pronunciation. Let's just try saying that whole sentence. Comment t'appelles-tu? Comment t'appelles-tu? Très bien. I think you're getting the hang of this. They say that children are much better at learning good accents. So the younger you are, the better you are, because you've learned to speak English in the last, I don't know, 10 years, whereas we oldies haven't learned to speak English for a long time. So your brain is really accustomed to picking up those sounds. So I'm sure you'll be very good at it. And lastly, the French R. You've already come across this in quite a few of the numbers, and I've put them down, some of them down, like trois and treize. 30 would be another one. So the R is slightly different. It's kind of gravelly, isn't it, in French? It's more of an sound than a r in English. So the difference between me saying toi or trois and trois, 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 and treize. And I could hear some great pronunciation when you did your numbers, by the way. If you're struggling with it, try and just imagine that you're doing a little growl like an animal. So it's right at the back of the throat. And I think of my cat. I'm sorry, but sometimes my cat brings in an animal. He hasn't done it for a few years, and he brought in a mouse once, and he had it in his jaws, and he didn't want to let it go, and I wanted to help save the mouse. So he had his jaws full, but he didn't want me to take the mouse, so he kind of growled at me. And it's that sort of sound. I think he'd be very good at French. So just try a very gentle little growl sound. Ready? Good, and now let's say some of those words. Trois, treize. And the word we're going to say today, au revoir, au revoir. Very good. I think we're getting there, aren't we? So we've done some pronunciation, la prononciation, and now répétez, 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 with les marionnettes, puppets. Okay, so we're going to get our puppets back, and we're going to do it with the words and without the words. So if you've made your finger puppets, have them ready. We'll just do one at a time. I think we'll practice with one of them, and then we'll bring the second puppet in. Okay, so I'm going to ask Mathis to come back. Mathis, viens, 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 viens. Ah, here he is. Okay, so Mathis would like to meet you. I think you need to pretend you don't know who he is. So he's going to come along, and you're going to say bonjour to him. He's going to say bonjour back. Okay, so let's try that. Bonjour. Okay, that worked. Okay, now you're going to say hello, bonjour to him. He'll say bonjour back, and then you're going to say to him, comment t'appelles-tu? Can you say that? Comment t'appelles-tu? And then he's going to tell you his name, and he's going to ask you your name back. And then you're going to say, je m'appelle, and then say your name. Okay, so let's try that. So first of all, remember, you start the conversation. You're going to say, bonjour. Are you ready? Bonjour. Now you ask him his name. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Mathis. Comment t'appelles-tu? Au revoir. And then he's gone. Okay, so you've had a little bit of practice with Mathis. So you could actually use your finger puppet as well. So it could be Mathis talking to your puppet. I just thought of that one. Let's bring in a friend, and let's do the whole scene of two animals meeting in the garden. Deux animaux dans le jardin. Now you might be wondering who the other puppet is. Well, you'll have to wait 1 second. Let me get ready. Here we go. And I'm going to say it, and I'd like you to, with your thumbs or your puppets, to do exactly the same. Just copy me. Get ready. Deux animaux dans le jardin. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Inès. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Mathis. Au revoir. Au revoir. I hope you saw them okay. You might have wondered, what's a polar bear and a giraffe doing in a garden? I mean, polar bears live in the Arctic and giraffes live in Africa, don't they? But we can do anything in our French lessons. So that's us practicing some of this together. We've been trying to use our accents, good pronunciation, and we've used finger puppets to make it a bit more fun. What we haven't done is do it in a different voice. Shall we try one together in a different voice just before I ask you to do your own work? So our puppets are going to come back. So ready, I think we're going to do frightened. I don't know why they're frightened. Maybe it's because of climate change or something like that, or maybe they're scared of a mouse, you know, like the Gruffalo. Maybe they've seen a mouse in the garden. Okay, so let's try it again. We're going to do frightened. Deux animaux dans le jardin. Bonjour, bonjour. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Inès. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Mathis. Au revoir, au revoir. And they've run off. Okay, so you can try that. You can try happy, you can try angry, you can try anything you like, but just make sure you stick strictly to the text. Okay, so now it's time for you. It's your independent work, your practice. So I want you to use 2 puppets or 2 thumbs or 2 toys. Use the techniques we've learned. Use the script that I've given you, that you can pause the video on it. I want you to try 4 different moods. So maybe a happy, a sad, a frightened, an angry, an excited, a crazy. You decide. You then choose your favorite one because you've practiced each one fully. And I want you to make a little video to upload to Seesaw of your finger puppets or your thumbs. And make sure you record your voice. It's really important that you are practicing so I can see that you've done your conversation and then I can give you some feedback. If you can't do a video, then please take a photo of the puppets and then do an audio. If you can't even take a photo, and sometimes we have technical problems, then just record yourself doing the conversation in 2 different voices. Okay, but the most important thing is you do that and it goes up onto Seesaw so I can see it. And make sure you remember every single line. So that's everything for this lesson. If you want to go away and do that, make your puppets, do whatever you need to do and get that up on Seesaw, you can then come back to this for reflection, or you can just listen now. What I think good, this is what we know, it's not just what I think, but we know that good learners reflect on, they think about what they've learned. So when you've done all this, I want you to think about what went well with your learning of French today and what you've got better at. We've been doing simple conversations. So what do you think is the best way to practice your simple conversations? Probably using those puppets, and maybe there's someone in the house you can practice with. That would make real sense. You're having a real conversation, aren't you? It may be that you know a bit more French and you can add some into the conversation as well. And that's always really good, makes it even more interesting. Think about what techniques you use. And we've talked about those quite a lot, haven't we? And any other ideas? Think about what other ways you use to learn your French. And how will you know if you've got any better? Well, I think with the counting we know, don't we? Because it gets easier. With the puppets, hopefully you'll be able to be more confident asking people what their name is and say hello and goodbye. But let me know, you can put any comments you like on this or your Seesaw. Allez, c'est fini. It's finished now. It's all over. Thank you for listening to lesson 2, and can't wait to bring Mathis and Inès back for some more French next time. Au revoir.